Welcome everyone once again. In the continuation of our knowledge series, today we have a very distinguished guest with us. We have Mrinal Singh with us. Hello, Mrinal.
Hello, everyone.
So, Mrinal is distinguished in the sense that he is not directly related with the smaller businesses. He is the Deputy CIO Equities for ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. But besides his experience on a listed space, he has been dealing day in, day out with a lot of businesses, be it large, small, medium. So today we thought let's bring in Milan's experience for the use of small entrepreneurs. So Milan, let me just start with you to ask a basic question. What do you feel about this pandemic?
So interestingly, a lot has been written about it. So this pandemic began in China as a supply shock for the economies of the world. And initially, everybody scrambled to see if the supply chain is intact, do they have enough inventory and all those things. But soon it spread its feet in Europe and America, and all of a sudden it became a demand shock along with supply shock, which is when the markets wobbled. And although I'm not a virology expert, but the medical fraternity at large is working hard to find a solution to it, and I'm quite hopeful that it should happen. And once that happens, I think things will normalize post that. In the meanwhile, we have a lot of challenges for the economy, challenges for the society in general. Lockdowns are not only in India but in a lot of places. So let's see how it progresses. It is an unprecedented times, and we are hopeful. Everybody is hopeful that we'll see it through and come out all fine.
So, Binal, as at Sarthi, we try to keep our focus and discussion limited to small businesses. That is what our focus has been. So, Binal, what do you think that going forward, those small businesses, what kind of challenges they may come across?
So, well, see, paramount challenge that any business, I mean, small more so, because generally small and medium enterprises would have bit weaker balance sheets, let's say, from a cash flow perspective or cash on the books perspective. But even a large business which could be weak is not going to be very different. But specifically to a small business, most small businesses are feeding into the supply chain into a large business, so they have a very strong customer. And in current times like lockdown, we've seen that there are delay in payments which are putting pressure on the working capital side. There could be disruptions in the raw material. There could be disruption on the labor side. There could be heavy disruption on the transportation side, supply chain side. So challenges galore, but most critical of them is the financial health, the balance sheet strength, which is what needs to be clearly tackled immediately. And obviously, I'm sure there are recommendations that people are having and taking. Maybe we can add more in subsequent time.
So, Minal, that we understand that that cash flows or the working capital is the prime most challenge for the all small businesses. Be it is vendor supplier payment or payment from the customers. What do your experience says to overcome this kind of challenges for small businesses?
So yeah, the most pertinent question in the context of today, particularly for SME. So let me split the financial challenge for a small enterprise. So there is an inventory side. Inventory side is the raw material side and the finished goods side. Then there is an operational cost, which includes variable costs like salaries, utilities, others, vendor payments maybe also. And there is a fixed cost side, interest payments, rents, taxes, GST, and other fixed costs. And there are receivables. Receivables could be invoices already raised, goods in transit, or consignments. So I guess on the inventory side, I mean, the point number one, my strong recommendation to most entrepreneurs or all entrepreneurs is, you should actually look at options like bill discounting platforms. They exist. I think I have at least seen 3 or 4 of them. They were doing brisk business till last year. You should explore those opportunities of discounting those bills. If the invoices are already raised and payments are due from the client and the client is willing to certify, I think there are these bill discounting platforms which might be quite handy in providing you the capital. You could also, I would say, liquidate the finished good inventory, try talking to the client, but even if it involves some kind of cost, and take the cash in, give some discount to him, but get the money in, liquidate inventory, finished good inventory, particularly as good as cash, give it a discount and get the money in, liquidate it. Raw material side, my strong recommendation to people is, they should move to consignment basis. And what is consignment? Consignment is when the vendor has the inventory at your premises, but he doesn't get billed till you pick it up. So in a way, it is not on your books. You are not obliged to pay, but then it is available as you need. So on consignment basis, you should move on raw material. That will do good to your inventory side. You have to squeeze out every bit of efficiency in the entire cost pyramid. You have to look at the cost afresh. You have to fully draw credit from your, so all the credit lines which have been approved to you, irrespective of you need them or not, draw them fully, because there might be change in terms going ahead. Banks might feel that they have too much exposure in SME or too much exposure in a sector that you are. Draw all the credit lines in, talk to your customers, even if it involves some bit of discount or cost. Liquidate your finished good inventory, get the money in from the customer, move your raw materials to consignment, maintain your banking relationship. It's very important. Don't try to jump around your banking relationship. Try talking to your banker. Try talking to him that if he will reduce rates substantially for you, you might not delay payments. Also, moratorium is allowed. And try seeing if there is something that can be done in the middle, or anything that a banker can come up. But then, most important from the bank perspective, immediately draw down all the credit lines that are approved to you. Get the cash in your bank. That's very, very important. Knock on the institutions. There are institutions like SIDBI, NSIC, and I understand NSIC also has an financing arm now for SME. You could explore those options. It's very, very important. You will not know that there could be sudden change in terms because there is a dedicated ministry for MSME, and there might be relaxation on what kind of credit and what terms and what conditions that credit is provided. You should explore that. Keep that channel open. Keep checking their website and keep connected to those places, particularly SIDBI and NSIC. And there are others, I'm sure. There are banks and NBFCs which specialize in SME kind of thing. Negotiate hard on your rents. Very, very important. It's a cost to you. Maybe try putting it across, couple of months, 2-3 months. Rent should be waived off, and maybe if you reset the rent at lower levels if possible, and also again revisit the cost from basics and stop capex completely. For the time being, just stop capex. No cash outflows. Revisit the cost from basics. Try to minimize and squeeze out all the efficiency that you can from every bit of cost element that you can. So that's just very important. Analyze your competitive landscape. Extremely important. You and your competitor are not on a different boat. And if you start cooperating in some manner, at least don't undercut each other or something of that sort, at least the going for the time being could be better, and it might benefit both of you. So analyze your competitive landscape, explore collaboration with them if possible. Be open to an idea of a financial investor. If you think that if you sell some bit of stake and you can get some monies, that will be a very welcome injection of liquidity and monies. And also maybe a joint venture partner. If, let's say, for example, if you're an auto ancillary and you've been wanting money, so you might just look at a joint venture partner from Far East, or maybe a recommendation from your customer, OEM customer. He brings in technology, he brings in expertise, he also brings in capital. That would be very, very useful. Explore those options, be open to that idea. And extremely important, again, explore and keep an eye on government schemes. There are a lot of government scheme incentives, stimulus, and relief measures coming across. Could be sector-wise, could be scale-wise. Keep an eye open. Just see if there could be elements in those which could be of use to you, which could take away your cost. For example, as the government did announce that they are willing to bear some provident fund costs for employees if you continue. So those kind of incentives, make use of them. It is extremely important, and more will come. So keep an eye for that too. See if your insurance covers, provide for some bit of relief or some bit of, loss of business payment, force majeure, act of God, anything of that sort. There might be a possibility that you might get some payments courtesy that also. In any case, talk to the insurance vendor also, and try extending going ahead also insurance. Provide support to your critical level of labor. If you are labor intensive, too much dependent on migrant labor or any kind of labor for that matter, look at, what is the minimum level threshold of level of labor that you have to work with which you can make operations work. Try providing them support, maybe, provide them food, provide them residential facility close by, so that, you don't lose that continuity of operation when things do normalize. And most important, I think it's going very lowly noticed, your supply chain is very, very badly disrupted. Transport vendors, negotiate terms again with them, because a lot of in-transit material is being lost, is not being efficient, things are getting delayed too much. So supply chain has to be re-looked at completely, maybe renegotiate terms, both in terms of delivery and levels and cost, and prioritize demand over supply. Extremely important, demand, as long as there is demand, you'll be able to figure out a supply, because supply partially is a function of the other guy's business also. So if you tell him that I'm willing to buy this much, he'll figure out a way. If you have demand, and if you have a client willing to pay, I think you should focus on that. If you have that, your business will be running, because there is somebody willing to buy, somebody willing to pay, and then supply will be figured out, because there's somebody else also to look in the supply part. Analyze your customer. Not all businesses might come back even if the lockdown is lifted or COVID is gone. Analyze your customer, stick with the survivors. The key of this phase for any SME is to survive. I mean, get in that mode. Don't be fixated with the past, the glorious past, or dreamy future. Survive this phase. Everything is available. As survivors will be much bigger, much stronger, much better, very profitable. Survive. And in specific cases, you might have personal assets on pledge versus option to personally inject cash in the business. So look at those options. If you think your business will, your personal cash injection could do very well, consider that, because that will revive things. If you can source monies from existing investment or some of your personal monies and wealth, try doing that if you think this will really do good. Or if you think that you would like to explore more banking relationships, then release the pledge on personal assets, because personal assets is something that most fresh bankers would be willing to give you credit against. So release your personal asset, and then maybe use that as a lien for a fresh lease of credit if you think you need more creditors or lenders in place. So that's broadly what I would say to SME people.
Mrinal, very elaborated and very thoughtful advice. But I have one more question. So you suggest that the capex has to be kept at bay. But how about those projects which are like halfway in and half to go? So how the entrepreneur should behave on those projects or expansions?
So excellent, and this is some of the most widespread issues that most SME entrepreneurs are talking to amongst each other and other people also. So for the time being, stop the cash outgo. First, get your monies in. Draw your credit lines. That will give you some buffer on liquidity. Get money from the client. Finish good, as I talk. Do bill discounting if you wish. Do discount to the customer itself, and get monies in. Get control of your cost, and then maybe you can restart your capex and maybe choose to. Let's say if you have 3 capex going on, you may choose to do 1 at a time and then move to 2nd or 3, or whichever is the case. That's a function of how your liquidity is, how you see the demand. See, what we need to also understand is, the demand, what it looked like, or the growth projections, the demand 3 months ago, and now they look very, very different now. So you have to do a reality check that is it something really required? You can't be putting good monies after bad monies after all. So first get as long as you have the monies with you in the balance sheet, in the accounts, you can afford to do running business, you can compete, you can do capex. So I'm not saying shelf capex, I'm saying stop capex for the time being, so that your cash outgo does not happen. And then reevaluate, reassess when you think you've got a hang of things. Accordingly, choose to do that much capex in that line where you think you need to necessarily do. And you can obviously fine tune what pace and how. Capex has to be required. If you don't invest, you will obviously lag behind. So it cannot be a state that capex shouldn't be done. But then, nevertheless, as of now, stop, not shelf. Stop capex and reassess.
Well advised. Mrinal, while you said very well about the challenges or maybe the preparedness towards those challenges, do you think any specific opportunities for the small businesses in the upcoming scenario?
I actually every downturn, every pullback in the economy actually throws a lot of opportunities, and this is an unusual one because we are going to see a massive change in consumer behavior. So there will be a lot of unmet needs that will be created. Clearly, few of them I can see. For example, I'm using as illustration that customers are going to be more willing to pay if you assure them more hygienic delivery of goods and services. There is definitely going to be a willingness by customers. So there is an unmet need that suddenly got created. So let's see what kind of businesses can address that. People would, at least as it looks now, would avoid places which are crowded. So that's also a it might not be face look like that people won't go to a restaurant, but if a restaurant says that we will maintain no matter who sits there at least 2 meters of distance between people, and there would be some kind of way wherein people serve food which is not at all touched by human hand at all, maybe it's an option. So I'm saying there are opportunities galore. And healthcare itself, healthcare, we've just people look at healthcare and they think, okay, it is pharma and hospital. See, there are lots of services. There are paramedics, there are biomedical ways, there are all kinds of consumables and allied services. Opportunities are opening by the day. People are not going to stop consuming, they will consume in a different way. So there is opportunities. Obviously, you can realign your business to the new set of opportunities. People can think and feel numb about what has happened. But then this is not the in bad times you have to think about the upcoming good times. There you have to figure out, and there are a lot of opportunities, and you have to figure out how you address the new needs of your consumer. And you would be, if you do it right, you will have a mega business at hand.
Mrinal, excellent piece of advices. And finally, what I have to ask you that, I know that you keep yourself very mentally healthy, okay? And that is otherwise also, besides this pandemic, I have been in touch with you and I know that what kind of work you keep yourself mentally healthy. So what do you advise to our viewers that how to be mentally healthy besides the balance sheet healthy?
Yeah, so basically, there are things, I generally follow a simple principle. You can keep thinking about things which are not in control, or you can keep doing things which are in your control. And things in your control, it is in your hand to make them destiny. And things not in your control, deal with them. Don't overthink about them. And I am an optimistic person in life, so let's look at the brighter side of things. But don't lose touch of reality. And obviously keep talking to friends and family and be happy.
With this happiness note, I will say thank you very much, Mrinal. Your elaborated challenges and your list of action against facing those challenges was really very useful, I guess. Thank you once again, Mrinal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you, Deepak.